Thank you. I believe we're on air. Morena tātou. Welcome to the Ōtorohanga District Council meeting. Can I please call on Cassidy for our opening karakia?
Tēnā koe, Morena, your worship, o tira koutou ngai kai kaunihira, mihi ana kia koutou ngā mihi o te ata. Just want to acknowledge you all this morning and open the space with karakia. So kia inoa tātou. E papa e rangi, e papa e rangi. E tau e ho mai ngā manaakitanga o te wāhinga ro ki runga ki tēnei ka huinga. Kia pai ai te huarahi mui a mātou, kia pai ai ngā kōrero kōrero hia. Tēnei te tangi, tēnei te inoa o te ngākau, i tū whako tīnuku, i tū whako tīrangi, tūturu o whiti whakamaua kia tīna, tīna haumi e hui e, tāe ki e. And just a brief translation, acknowledging all of the many spaces around us and between us and asking for good aspects of those spaces to be cast upon us here today, but also the discussion that's going to be held. So, kia ora tātou.
Ngā mihi. And the words of wisdom fall to me today. This is from Alfred Sloan, who apparently was the driver of the growth in General Motors, and relevant, I think, for the discussions that we're having around long-term plan decisions. If we are all in agreement on the decision, then I propose we postpone further discussion on this matter until our next meeting to give ourselves time to develop disagreement and perhaps gain some understanding of what the decision is all about. Apologies. That Ōtorohanga District Council receive and accept the apology from His Worship the Mayor Max Baxter for non-attendance, for Councillor Roy Willison, and for the early departure of Councillor Jamie Tamaki. Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Jeffries and seconder, Councillor Prendergast. Thank you. Are there any late items? No late items. Is there any declaration of a conflict of interest? That Ōtorohanga, okay, we don't need that. Confirmation of the minutes. That Ōtorohanga District Council confirm as a true and correct record of the meeting, the unconfirmed open minutes of the Ōtorohanga District Council meeting held on 21 November 2023. Do I have a remover? And thank you, Councillor Hughes. Seconder was Councillor Johnson. Thank you. Okay. That is for receipt of the minutes. Yeah, not available, but that's for that water. It doesn't say. Right, okay. So for both boards, the board minutes are not available and they'll be presented at the February meeting. Now, do we have our guest for Wetu? Okay, tēnā koe John, ko Annette Williams, tēnei, I'm Deputy Mayor for the meeting today, and welcome to our public forum. Okay. Right, my apologies.
Kia ora, Wayne. Tanya Winter here. Are we waiting for John to join us? Oops, you're on mute.
Right, is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, thank you. Apologise for that.
That's okay. Is John going to join us today, Wayne?
Well, John McRae was, not John Forbes. John McRae, our secretary, was intending to. He said 10 past 10, but I noticed we're a bit earlier. So but he did say to me to be ready by 10:05. So
Was he joining online or in person?
Yes, online. He's got the link.
Okay. Well, should we just wait a few moments for him to join?
Well, I don't want to hold you up. Would you like me to just brief you as to where we're at the moment with what's going on in Kawhia with our projects?
Up to you. We're happy to wait a few minutes, for him to join you. But if you would like to start, then that's fine as well. We're a wee bit early, sorry.
That's all right. I just thought it would be a good idea for those who aren't aware of what we're planning out in Kawhia. We're still going ahead with our destination tourism project. We've got an investigation that's underway now, and plans are in place for quite a sophisticated and major 40-kilometre cycle trail through the forestry. In addition, we're going to look at utilising the hot springs, and we're also going to have the obvious amenities such as bike hire, cafe, all those things as well. Plus, we're going to look at putting in rock climbing walls, and various activities like that, tree walks, challenge courses, quite a wide range of activities, and even glamping or many. But the other thing that has been suggested to us, and we're quite keen to pursue, and perhaps we can talk about this more when John talks us, is possibly putting in an airstrip. I think the vulnerability of these roads, particularly one road in and out, and what has happened on the Coromandel, highlights that alternative accesses are vital. And if the road was wiped out into Kawhia, there is no alternative access except by sea, apart from one or two farm airstrips. So that is something I would like to suggest to council that we start looking at. It would be in the community's interest to put in a good airstrip that provides alternative access in the case of a catastrophe such as the road being knocked out completely, which nearly happened, as you well know, last year, or earlier this year. So that's why I'm suggesting that one. The other point we wanted to talk about was the beach being used as a highway. Beach it's private land, it's on our title. Somehow or other, I'm told, I'm not sure, I could be wrong, and please correct me if I am wrong. I've been informed that it is considered a highway for traffic, and it's not. Our boundary goes to low water mark, or be in some cases beyond. We are not aware that has ever been changed, and we would like that to be investigated as well. And then, of course, there's the big problem with the grass on the roadside causing a major fire risk. But we've taken matters into our own hands. It was just too long. We had to do something fast. The council contractors have done, all they have mown is a 1 metre strip on either side of the asphalt, and left grass up to 1 metre high on the rest of the grass on the fence side of the road. So this is a real concern to us, and I think we need to address that. But we are, as I said, we've taken matters into our own hand. We've sprayed it, cut it, and it's going to be harrowed down to dirt so that it's not a hazard over the summer. So those were just the main points I wanted to talk about. And is John still not there? So maybe we'll carry on, and I'll answer any questions or enter the discussion as you would like me to.
No, we don't have John with us yet.
No,
So
okay.
did you have further conversation that you wanted to present?
Well, it was more just talking generally about those items I've just mentioned, particularly the possibility of getting an airstrip in.
Yeah, so at this stage, councillors can ask questions of you, but in the public forum, we can't have actual discussion about it, Wayne. So
No, that's all right. That's all right. That's what I'm saying. If you'd like to ask me any questions, I'm happy to answer.
oh, so did councillors have any questions for Wayne?
Kia ora, Wayne. It's Kit Jeffries here. How are you this morning?
Kia ora, Kit. Yes, very well, thank you.
Good, good. The suggestion of an airstrip's an interesting one. I wasn't aware that was on the agenda, but congratulations for thinking about it. You'd be aware that we have a number of helicopter landing places in Kāwhia, in and around Kāwhia. Did you have any ideas where a landing strip for a light aircraft could be?
Well, the suggestion that's been put to me is alongside the road, somewhere suitable alongside the road. We would have to fell. Obviously, a lot of trees would have to be felled, but with the harvest 2 to 3 years away, now's the time to start looking at that. It would just mean not replanting on the area that was chosen as the most suitable site. As you know, the road travels pretty much east-west, and I understand that's an ideal direction for an airstrip. There is some parts of the road have got quite a slope, which wouldn't be suitable, but then it can or landscaping can or road works, tractor works or diggers, etc. They can change all that. I don't know what you call it. So that was just the suggestion. It's only a suggestion at this stage. We haven't done much in the way of investigation, but I wanted to really put it to council to see if there might be an appetite for a proper airstrip, not just helicopters. Light aircraft, of course. I'm not talking about big commercial craft. I'm talking about light aircraft.
So you're suggesting that the any landing strip would be on TKI land? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it would have to be, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Or adjacent to the road, maybe part of it could be. But I would imagine that being a community, being available to the community, it would be perhaps a joint venture with council. I don't know.
And just one further question, if I may, Wayne, the cycle walkway track that you're talking about
Yes.
is something that's been talked about for some time, and I'm delighted to hear that that you guys are interested in getting involved in that. So the boundary, the land boundaries, is this something that would take place purely on TKI land, or is there going to be some need to involve neighbouring properties?
No, at the moment, well, yes. The vast majority of it will be on our land, but there is also talk of it going perhaps alongside some roads down into the community, down to the village, around Makatu, incorporating it, but that would be on Marae land, Ngāti Mahuta land. We're only talking a few hundred meters at the most. But there might be areas where it would cross roads. I'm not sure, but the instructions have been to keep it as much as possible on TKI land within our boundaries.
Councillor Christensen.
Good morning, John. It's Councillor Christensen here. I was just wondering, I mean, these are amazing sounding projects. What sort of support are you looking from council? Like what, support are you looking for from us?
Well, eventually, I think we're going to have to address, we had a meeting with Waipa Networks not long ago. I think we're going to have to look seriously at sewage and water. Those are areas that obviously, if our plans in the next 5 to 10 years take off the way we are envisaging they might, we're going to have to really address the sewage and water situation.
Kia ora, John. You're on mute, Rob.
Yeah. Morena, sorry, had technical difficulties with my laptop, wasn't working, so I'm on my cell phone, so I'm just, I imagine you've gone through most of the agenda by now.
Well, I've just I've outlined all the airstrip. I didn't mention the alternative beach access, and the fact that the beach is not a highway, it's private land, and the problems with the grass on the roadside being a fire hazard. I've just gone through those, and we were just talking about the cycle trail.
Right, yes.
And
yep.
a councillor's just asked me what we would be how we would looking at, or how can the council be involved in these projects. And as you might have heard me just say, obviously water and sewage is going to become a problem.
Yeah, I think just adding to that, Wayne, creating a destination, a tourism destination is pretty much what our project's about. I think we've mentioned this at our previous meeting when we were at the council, and that was at very early days. With that success, we'd see hopefully quite a lift in tourism numbers come through. Don't know if everyone's aware, but the traffic and the forecast for tourism is actually very positive. 2019 here, I'm based in the Ōtorohanga, and was chairman for the economic development and tourism here for many years. We've seen this year's probably going to surpass 2019, and the way the airlines are coming on, we're expecting 2024 to 25 being extremely busy years. So I think there's a change also in the thinking as to how people want to travel. They do want to get off the beaten track. They do want to go and see places that are unique and different. And we see the Kawhia community as being one of those areas that would actually be very appealing. But to get them off the beaten track, it requires a portfolio of product. It won't be just one attraction. It'll be a multitude of different attractions that would be required. And of course, Tainui Kawhia Incorporation, we've got a reasonable amount of horsepower, but we'll be looking to partner with many different operators to actually make sure that you've got a suite of different attractions within that community. And on the back of that, I guess the involvement of council is not limited at all. It could be at any level, and I think talking to the committee of management, they've been encouraging the council to get involved at every level in terms of not just infrastructure, but whether there's options to get involved in other ways as well. be quite open and creative about that.
The consenting process is one area that springs to mind where council will be very involved with us. We need guidance on the consenting process, and I've already discussed that with one or two people from within the council.
Any other
If you-
questions from councillors?
This is a public forum, John, and so any questions rather than discussion will be.
Yeah.
Okay then, so, okay, ngā mihi korua. Thank you for your information, and I'm sure if there's any operational matters in there that the staff will follow up on them, but we look forward to the further developments along the tourism destination for Kāwhia.
Yes, and I don't know if Wayne pointed out the time frame that we're working to, so hopefully by the middle of next year we'll have a pretty good understanding what that suite of product would start looking like, with a view to implementing later in the year and start getting on with it. So we'll be sharing. I think we've met with a number of your management team and agreed that we'd be sharing information on a regular basis. So look forward to working with the council through that process.
Thank you both.
I would also just like to ask council to please take really seriously the fire hazard risk that we have with the long grass on the road. We're doing our bit. If a fire went through that forestry this summer, could easily take the town with it, and it's really a serious matter. And I'm not being alarmist. You only have to look at many examples around the world where this has happened to communities in a similar geographical situation as what Kāwhia is. And now that the forestry is at maturity, it is a very real risk. So
Thank you.
we're doing everything we can. We've now got 24/7 someone on site 24/7, keeping an eye on the situation. And we've also erected, which is, I know, another matter again, we've erected barriers to close the road in an extreme fire situation. And we will have no hesitation in doing that if it's to protect the community. Following protocols, of course. I'm not saying we're going to just go and close them without consulting. Oh, the boy races are still a problem out there as well, big problem. Well, thank you very much for allowing us to brief you, and hopefully we can all move forward together and get this project underway in the next 6 to 8 months.
Thank you both again.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda are the decision reports. We have one, item 100, Ngāti Te Wiki Marine and Coastal Area Act, claim for customary marine title and protected customary rights at Aotea Harbour, letter of support from Cassidy and Tony. Thank you.
Kia ora anō, mihi ana kia koutou. Just want to take this time to acknowledge Matua Davis Apati, mihi ana kia koe te rangatira o tira a tō whānau me tō iwi me ngā hapu maha I raro I te manaakitanga o Aotea Harbour, mihi ana kia koe. And just want to acknowledge as well the apologies of the chairperson of Ōkapu Marae, kia Hoti, but also Harry Clapworthy from Te Mata Law, who presented at the recent workshop, and acknowledgement also to Ty and Bradshaw, who may be able to be joining the live stream. They have a planned power outage. But mihi ana kia koutou. Yeah, real privilege to be here this morning and alongside Tony, just in regard to this opportunity that council has before them with regard to the Ngāti Tuihi Marine and Coastal Area Act claim that they have with the High Court. So I don't have a specific presentation, but perhaps just wanted to talk briefly to the report around some of the, I guess, items that were raised at the last meeting, in particular around concerns about other interested parties such as iwi or hapu or marae with regard to Aotea Harbour, and just want to, I guess, emphasise that the letter that was provided from Ngāti Tuihi stressed and emphasised that they did not request any support from Ōtorohanga that would diminish, reject, or work against any other interests from other iwi or hapu or interested parties with regard to Aotea Harbour. So just wanted to, I guess, touch on that, but also to touch on the work that Tony and I have done in discussion with various Māori legal expertise with regard to the Marine and Coastal Area Act, and also reaching out to Regional Council as well as another regulator with regard to Aotea Harbour. Were there any pātai or questions with regard to that comment?
Councillors have any questions for Cassidy? So Jeffries.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, good morning, Cassidy, and good morning, Davis. Nice to see you taking the time to come in. Yeah, just a point of clarification, if I may. I think one of the concerns that was raised during the presentation was that that the Ngāti Tuihi claim didn't impinge on any other claims, which I think's been clarified in the letter. I'm just interested, though, that if we look at the map, it includes not just the Aotea Harbour, it actually extends right down to Albatross Point and the foreshore through there and then out to Gannet Island. Is there any suggestion that that there'll be any sort of restrictions or limitations put on fishing in that area?
Tēnā koe, Councillor Jeffries. So just to clarify, and I perhaps should have clarified within my decision report. So this map is taken directly from the originating application that was lodged with the court, but for the provisions of the High Court hearing for Aotea Harbour, it pertains specifically to Aotea Harbour and doesn't extend further out, such as within the map. Yes, and I guess just further to that, in discussion with some of the other iwi and hapu collectives and groups, any further I guess discussion with regard to other areas of interest and overlapping interests would be considered on a case-by-case basis if they were to approach council.
Thank you. That answers that. Thank you very much.
Is there any further discussion on the report? Okay, so we have the recommendation that the Ōtorohanga District Council approve the draft letter of support, document number 728530 to Ngāti Tuihi and their right to claim for recognition of customary marine title and protected customary rights under the Marine and Coastal Act 2011 claim at Aotea Harbour. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Move it, Councillor Jeffries, seconder, Councillor Tamaki. Thank you very much.
Tēnā koutou.
Sorry, did I ask for all those in favour? Any against? Thank you.
Tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou.
Now we have next report item 101, Community Facilities Quarterly Update. Have we got speaker with stage fright?
He's running down the stairs.
Thank you, Mark. I think your support team's on its way down the stairs. Here we go. Thank you, Jared. Just take a deep breath.
You've got it up.
Page 59 for members.
Through you, your worship. This is my quarterly report. Just update on where we're at with a few of our projects and other things going on in my area. I won't go into too much detail, but we're ticking a few things off the list. We're moving into now just tidying up a lot of our areas going into the Christmas break, swimming holes, things like that, making sure we're ready to go. So I'll just take it to you guys for any questions.
Councillor Hughes.
Yeah, through your worship, thank you. Jared, I'll just look at 4.7, the closed landfill. It's 90% completed, budget's utilized 50%. So it says, I think there must be fencing to go with that, use up the other.
Yep.
Or will it come in under budget or?
There'll be some fencing, but we're also just waiting on that last invoice to come through from our contractor as well, which will take up a bit, and then we're looking at a couple of options of fencing with what the budget we've got of how we'll finish off that last little bit up this side of the road there.
Just like make a comment, and so it's pleasing to see that a lot of it's been coming under either under budget or on budget too. So not blowing out any costs, but also the fact that I think probably the bigger projects that we have like roading and water that need to hold the limelight a bit, but these smaller ones are quite important to the community, and see them getting completed in that at the moment. So testament to your team. So congratulations on that.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, they're sort of lower budget areas, but quite high visibility and they benefit the community quite a bit, these smaller projects.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks for that, Jared.
Any other questions?
Please.
Sorry.
A couple, first one's a comment, Jared, and it's probably nothing that you can do, but it just, your report highlighted it to me. So I couldn't attend that last Resilio meeting for the reserve management strategy because the appointment was 11 to 1, I think. And then at 1, the conversation went, oh, okay, if you've got time, let's go and walk all these reserves. My comment is, if our consultant's thinking about that, can they block out some more time? Because Jamie could only do all of them. Joe from the community board Jamie could do all of them. Joe could only do one. I would have been back from Hamilton and I would have done if the appointment was blocked out for longer. And then with the landfill, just a question. Now that it's all been spread and that, have the contractor or someone else gone through and picked out all the rubbish out of that fill?
Yep, so my team went and picked out all the smaller stuff.
Awesome.
The contractor picked out the bigger stuff because they've just drilled that, and of course you don't want that's rubbish when you're running a seed drill through there.
No, that's good. And I think I have one more question. Just let me find it. Whereabouts is your parks team storage shed? You've got a preferred location, but it doesn't say where it is, and I'm nosy.
Progress Drive, so you probably know it as the Inframax building, which is actually council owned. There is a small bay off the end of it, which is sealed off from Inframax, which is our team's bay, and we've got a locked up yard there as well.
Oh, okay. I thought that was always ours.
The whole building's always
Yeah,
been
yeah,
ours.
but I thought our guys always use that end, so.
Yeah, we've always used that, but we want to add on some more covered in storage. We've got a small covered in block, but the rest of it's open.
Okay, cool. Just one more small thing. That's not really small. The painting of the ship and truck. When we're getting quotes for that, it's for unleaded paint because it's in the playground.
Yeah, we actually used the company that did it originally when the playground was built.
Yeah.
So they just used what was used at the very start. We're lucky that their quote was competitive and they were able to do it
Okay.
again.
I'd just like to, there's a recommendation that it needs to be a very, very low percentage in playgrounds with the lead in the paint.
Do we still get lead in paint?
We do. That's me.
Thank you, councillor Jeffries.
Thank you, Worship. Morning, Jared.
Morning.
Jared, just a couple of quickies. 4.11, the Carfield Wharf. When they go out to have a look at that, are they going to be cleaning out the gutters? There's grass growing in the gutters.
I spoke to someone about that last week. We've
good.
got that underway. That it's a separate.
Okay.
We won't be sending our divers on top of the roof.
No, a skydivers maybe. On 4.16, the Carfield Cemetery, it's not specifically mentioned there, but I think we did raise at one stage whether something could be done about the screening between the cemetery and the transfer station. Has that been given any further consideration?
I had a look last week when I was out there. I have a couple of ideas, maybe creating a bit of a topsoil bund to actually give us a little bit more growing ability. The problem is the base of that is very hard compacted clay, which doesn't really lead to growing anything. So I've had a look and I've got a couple of ideas.
Right, thanks. And the last one really was just 4.2, the curbside recycling, the comms package. Has that been received yet, or are you still waiting for that?
We finally got access to the portal on Friday. I met with Helen from our comms team. MFE have been extremely busy and hard to get hold of, but we've got there, and now we've got access. We'll work on that and get that out. It's probably looking early next year now.
Thank you for that. And can I just say thank you too for the time you took last week at the Carfield community, when you came out and had a look at those notice boards and all that sort of stuff around the town, and that was very useful to do that. So no, just please thank you for that.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your report, Jared. And as you say, the value that it places on those things that are front of mind for members, and now that you've got an asset management plan, or how the value that makes more visible as well. So the recommendation is that the Ōtorohanga District Council receive the report titled Community Facilities Quarterly Report, document number 727359 from Jared LeFleming, Manager, Community Facilities. A mover and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Prendergast. Seconder, Councillor Christensen. All in favour? Any against? Thank you. Thanks, Jared.
Thank you.
Mark. Report item 102, the Better Off Fund update. Welcome to the table for her first ever presentation, Sashtri and Nadia Thank you.
Morena tātou. Through you, Madam Chair and elected members, this report provides you with an update of the 4 projects funded by Better Off Funding. As you know, later last week, after this report was written, Ōtorohanga College Board released a statement saying that the hostel will close as of today. $50,000 of the Better Off funding was to go towards the feasibility study of the hostel's viability. It is our understanding that this was to be undertaken next year. Staff are yet to meet with the college regarding this matter since the news has been released. Other than that, I'm happy to take the report as read and happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions from Councillor Roy? Thank you.
Yeah, just a question for our CEO, really, but is this still likely to occur, this Better Off funding? Is there any doubt that we might not be getting it?
Through you, Madam Chair. So we haven't had any indication that the funding stream in this fund will be ceased or cut off. I guess we put forward a bunch of proposals in the previous government in good faith. They've all been approved. So yeah, probably, but yeah, we've got a contract signed, probably would be pretty bad form. We already know the second tranche of the, the Better Off Fund is not happening. So yeah, I would be surprised. We've had no notification though.
Any other questions? Did you have any comments you wanted to make, Navi? In the terms of reference for the Ōtorohanga order and the membership is 2 of the tuia, yeah, I think it would be an ideal time if we could build up some visibility of who our tuia are. And I've had offered to get some material together for a presence on our website. Perhaps that would give us some just some visibility, as I say, to the program and the people who have been through. And given that we will be soon looking for next year's candidate as well.
That's a great suggestion, Madam Chair. And we've also had 1 nominee for this coming year already.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Sister.
Well, just one further question, if I may. Sorry, it's just in relation to the Kāwhia seawall. Sorry, 5.11 talks about the last sentence talks about working towards an appropriate engagement methods due to begin in February. Will the community board out there be involved with this project? Is that the intention to involve them?
I might refer to Mark for this one. This is the Kāwhia seawall project, Mark.
Yes.
Was the plan to include the Kāwhia Community Board in those conversations?
A nod will suffice.
It's my understanding it's still very much in its infancy of sort of putting together a work program. It's being run through the projects team, which are focused on some renewals at the moment, but I know they're going to start kicking it off early in the new year. But I don't have that detail, Councillor, whether the community will be involved, but I'm sure there'll be some communication with you in the near future.
Yeah, I think it's just important that it's happening in their area and they should know what's going on. So, even if it's just reports coming in. Yep, thanks.
Yeah, it does sit on our capital projects report, so there'll be reporting on it. That's once it kicks off.
Councillor Prendergast.
Through you, Madam Chair, really a question for Tanya. When a project comes up like this, is the staff time allocated from
that grant, or is it from ratepayers? Just with us doing what we're doing at the moment, I was sort of wondering how that worked.
So through you, Madam Chair, so you may recall that as part of the Better Off funding package, the proposal that we put forward that council endorsed and was approved by the DIA included a provision for staff time. So we employed SAS to lead the projects in this area. In terms of the supporting staff time, so that might be Nadia or me or that kind of thing, I guess that's inherent in our, our kind of the cost of us and allocated across. So Graham may have something to add to that, but that's kind of the way that, it's sort of an overhead in our remuneration and our, the cost of having us.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. Thank you. It just helps us to put it all in. Yeah.
Great to ask examples as they arise. Yeah.
Thank you. So the staff recommendation is that the Ōtorohanga District Council receive the report Better Off Fund Update, document number 728147 from Sastry Montgomery, Community Programs Coordinator. Do I have a mover and seconder? Thank you, Councillor Dow, and seconder, so Councillor Jeffries. All in favour? Any against? Thank you. Thank you, Sastry. Then we welcome to the table Ross for item 103, concept plans, development and implementation update.
Morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, councillors. So this report has two parts to it. The first part is an update for you on the 4 priority projects derived from the Ōtorohanga Town Concept Plan Implementation Program. So that's the Puipatia Reserve Development, the Ōtorohanga Reserves Management Strategy, and we've tacked on the development of at least one reserve management plan as part of that project. The Ōtorohanga Multi-Purpose Community Facility or Hub feasibility study, and the Ōtorohanga Sports Hub project. And you heard earlier today on 2 of those projects. And the second part of the report covers the progress with the development of the Kawhia, Ōpirau, Aotea and rural Ōtorohanga rural concept plans, and I've set out some timelines in terms of the stages for the development of those 2 concept plans leading up to their adoption by council in June of next year. And note that the engagement and consultation phases of those 2 projects will run in parallel with the LTP program as we currently know it. So I don't want to add anything further and take the report as read, but more than happy to answer any questions that members may have.
Thank you, Ross. Are there any questions from members? Oh, Councillor.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, Ross, it's probably a silly question, but I guess any costings associated with the Kawhia, Aotea and rural plans are not yet or don't yet form part of our budget going forward. Is that correct?
That's correct, specifically to those. Yes. And I will make 2 comments. One is we are working through all of the suggested projects and initiatives that have come through the 2 concept plan processes, and we're looking at a rough order costing process as part of that, in exactly the same way we did for the Ōtorohanga Town Concept Plan implementation plan. And the second thing is the previous council committed a 3-year implementation, or to a 3-year implementation funding budget. for the budget program that's been put forward as part of the LTP, my understanding is the package includes a similar amount of funding at a high level. So there's nothing at this stage that would specifically link a particular action or project in one of the concept plans to a budget line in the draft budget at the moment. So we're at the kind of the program or package level in terms of where we stand.
Yeah, I guess.
Around it. That's how we've approached it.
Pardon me, yes, oh, thanks, Ross. No, the concern from me really was that we've been given preliminary budget figures for the next financial year. And I guess the question really was, are there more costs still to be added to that? Or are you saying that the budget already sort of pretty much covers those off?
Well, so what we've approached, the way we've approached it is to say there is a bucket of funding signalled in the budget, but it hasn't been tagged to anything other than supporting the implementation of all three concept plans. Yeah.
Okay, there being no further comment, the staff recommendation is that the Ōtorohanga District Council receive the report titled Concept Plans Development and Implementation Update, document number 728059 from Ross McNeil, Chief Advisor. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Johnson, seconder. Sorry, Councillor Tamaki. Oh, sorry. All those in favour? Any against? Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew, for item 104, Civil Defence Emergency Management Quarterly Update.
Morning, Madam Chair, councillors. This is a quarterly report for the last period of 2003. I'll take the report as read. I think the main comment here is that the weather seemed to have spared us over this period, which is a bit of a relief, and other things like earthquakes and other hazards didn't eventuate. So everyone had a bit of breathing space, time to do a bit of catch up on planning and process and stuff like that. So yeah, you guys got any queries about the report? Happy to answer them.
Any questions from elected members? No. Thank you, Andrew. In the awareness part, the proportion of people who do not know the right actions to take in a local tsunami has nearly doubled. Yeah.
So this isn't a new occurrence. I mean, every time we have a disaster or some incident of major impact that raises public awareness, people have a look at their own circumstance and do an old gulp moment and make some plans, and then as it recedes into memory, so does their ability to worry about their own circumstances. So yeah, it's I think that the idea and then you'll probably see that, and it's highlighted in there, that the civil defence people that manage the advertising campaigns are well aware of that. You tend to find that they advertise quite strongly in the aftermath of events, and then they'll try and hit particular periods, like we're going to get a bit of a lead up before the Christmas period about tsunamis, when people or population is going to be near the beaches and stuff like that. So I think they just try to be quite topical and seasonal with their advertising in an effort to maximise the advertising spend.
And as a reminder, if it's long and strong, get gone. Councillor Prendergast.
Through you, Madam Chair. Andrew, just on page 4, I think it is, of your report, page 90 of the pack anyway. The EOC integrated framework for trained staff. Ōtoronga's numbers look very, very low. So are the other councils around us overachievers, or is that an area that we need to be working on? Page 4 of
Yeah,
6.
I think we're pretty consistent with Waitomo, who's a council of similar size, so it's all relevant to the number of staff that you've got available for training. It's not something that not all staff are available for training, because there's some staff in the course of their business as usual aren't going to be available in the EOC because they're going to be out there trying to keep pipes running and roads open and stuff like that. So we're comfortable with our numbers. It's always been acknowledged that we're never going to be able to run an EOC full time on our own resources. We're going to rely on our neighbours.
Councillor Tom.
I don't know if that's not really a question. I was involved with last week with some of the stuff around the panel for the civil defence controller stuff. And when I was asked to be a part of it, I then went and had a look at Te Nehe Henry's resilience plan, knowing that somewhere in there, when I look at responsive and all of that sort of stuff, we need to probably have a bit of vision into what it looks like for them. So I have that those documents, and I don't mind sending them on to which they said please send them on. So I will forward them. Who do I to you? Yep. And I've also had conversation with Dale Marie in Waipa. So they're doing a very similar thing with the hapu and different things that I'll just send on to you.
Andrew, is there, like, just listening to the speaker earlier, they're very worried about fire. So I assume, I see they have tsunami training or workshops. Do they like to have any sort of fire type workshops, or just in case?
Yeah, so we did an exercise last week. Just discussed what sort of contingencies we'd have to make in the event of a fire at Kapia. Yeah. The answer is yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, is it going to go to the public type, obviously can't.
I think
He knows about it's long, get strong. If it's fire,
Yeah.
what do you do? Jump in the sea.
No, I think the message is be prepared, and the be prepared stuff is all about have you got a plan to contact your family members in an emergency? Have you got provisions to look after yourself for a day? All of that sort of stuff. But rather than the specific plan for a type of emergency, it's more about just being ready for the unexpected. Yeah.
Andrew, you've noted that councils have been asked to promote volunteer roles in their communities. What's that look like for us?
I'm not aware of what we've been doing in terms of volunteers. We've got volunteers on our welfare committee, and that's probably the extent of it at this stage. I think some councils are reaching out to more into the actual operational stuff. People that are drawing on pool of experience from the community, of people that might have in their previous jobs or that might have been in operational roles, and that they can add value into our EOC and stuff like that. But we haven't got any local volunteers in those roles.
No, but I think there is something under development, isn't there, to sort of build community awareness and volunteer.
Yeah, and the managing volunteers is one of the things that's covered off in training for controllers and operations managers. So it's a bit of a short area around health and safety and responsibilities, and even to the extent where sometimes volunteers get a bit ahead of themselves and start allocating staff council resource without authorisation and stuff like that. So there's lots and lots of things that have got to be considered in managing volunteers.
just something to think of when the foundation training is offered next year, that while that's on council time and it takes your time out of the day to do it, to move on to the next levels of training. The training is provided free at civil defence. If you want to go up to intermediate and start looking at the different areas of an operations centre. So there being no further questions, the recommendation is that the Ōtorohanga District Council receive the report titled Civil Defence Emergency Management Quarterly Report, document number 727597 from Andrew Lowe, Policy Advisor. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Thank you. Councillor Prendergast, seconder. Councillor Hughes, all in favour? Any against? Thank you, Andrew.
Just while I've got your attention, just the article about this, where is it? 8.6, the last sentence in there, they talk about an AM8 earthquake. That means alpine fault seismic level 8. So, bit of history there. The strongest earthquake ever recorded in New Zealand was in 1855 in the Rimataka Ranges, Wairarapa. That was an 8.2. So, an 8-point earthquake here could potentially be strong enough in the alpine fault fracture. Be feeling it, you might even get knocked off.
Thank you for that. Councillor Tamaki, do you need to leave now? Oh, it's 11:30. Sorry. Okay, so okay, well, we'll get, in case you haven't moved to leave quicker, we'll start the councillor updates with you.
So I don't even know where to start, but what have I done? So I did some stuff with the civil defence control panel interview, so that was really cool. Really with all the stuff that's happening in our worlds today, it was interesting to hear some of the process that happens when we look at civil defence, and where we can fit into that program. So that was really cool. We had a karakia for Te Kuti Pā, so they've closed the gate to the pā for refurbishing and stuff, which a lot of our marae are doing at the moment, because in the winter they need to be open for other events that happen at winter time. What else have I done? I've been out to the community board in Kawhia and was lucky enough to have some time with Uncle Alan and Uncle Sandra and Ross and Janine, and so they've been a big part of my life growing up. They don't ground me as much as they used to, so that means I've got older, I've got a nicer child, so I don't know. What else? At the moment, one of the biggest things, as you all know, at the forefront for us is the hostel. So quite an interesting space to work in, but rest assured that I think moving forward after today, we'll get to work on a clean slate. And I've just been urging everybody that has been putting or inquiring about the hostel that it's not the where, but it's the how. So Roy, Caroline, Dom and Jane Fortis and Dawn Winnecray, the care or the duty of care they give to our kids, they can do that anyway. But it's important that we enable that type of care to be done. So does it look like a new model? Most definitely. And there will be time where I will ask, or others may even ask for us all to come to the table, put some wild dreams in on the table and see what comes out the other end. But I think, you know, I've read the emails and I've seen different ones talking, and I think it's been a good thing that finally it's been brought to the surface. It's a brave decision to make, but I think it's the right decision when we look at it in the looking forward for another 50 years. So I can't even remember what else I've been doing crazy things. Watching my little Snapchat thingies, tau i opa. Yeah, mauri ora.
Councillor Prendergast.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the 27th of November, we had an economic wellbeing strategy update with Claire, which was good. 1st of December, I attended the Waikeria Long Service Awards at Te Awamutu. That was a really cool evening to attend and be a part of, celebrating what they had, long service medal recipients. The longest one had served for 50 years, and just such a huge lot of dedication to their community, and a very heavy focus on the contribution of their families. So that was a really nice thing to be at. 4th of December, we had the Te Nui Joint Management Agreement signing in Te Kuiti, and that was an honour to be there. 5th of December, Risk and Assurance. 6th of December, it's a little bit ongoing, just been helping the water team with an access issue in Ōtorohanga, which is pretty much resolved. That's cool. At the 11th of December, we had another economic wellbeing strategy update, and I think it's quite really good to see how the three of us, Katrina, Jamie and I, are really coming together for that, and it's been quite a learning curve for all of us, but I think there's been some very good observations made that will help us go forward, and I think the biggest one really is that how easy it is to skew results just because of our low population density or low uptake of whatever is being quoted on. So yeah, it's a work in progress. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Johnson.
Just went on the Christmas parade, and really well attended. This year it was our Vintage Tractor Club worked in with Giltrap farm machinery for 100-year anniversary of farm wool production. They're still selling them, and we're still driving them, so we worked in with them with that, which was Andrew Giltrap thanked us for, so that was good. And I went to the Christmas market, which was, we've been before, but it was really good. It would be even better if the weather would play ball, but you get what you can. It was well attended, so that was a nice event. And other than that, we've had 3 district licensing committee hearings over the last month, so it's been quite busy in that space. But it's me.
Thank you. Councillor Jeffries.
Thank you. Yes, 23rd of November, we had a meet and greet with Waipa Network at the Sands Hotel, and it was disappointing that that a number on the invitation list, including our mayor and our deputy mayor, didn't receive their invitation. So the numbers that attended that were quite poor, and a little bit embarrassing in some ways. Waipa Networks were well represented. They had their chairman and their chief executive plus board members, and they ended up having their board meeting the following day at the Sands, which was good to see it being used for that purpose. So yeah, so I'll talk to Sean about that invitation list. 27th of November, I attended the annual general meeting of the Kāwhia Brigade, Fire Brigade, and there were a number of honours awards given out that night. It was a good function. 29th of November, we had our LTP workshop here, and we met the New Zealand Police Assistant Area Commander, Brendan. I forgot his last name. And that was interesting to hear what's happening generally in the Waikato area around policing. Then we've had some workshops. 5th of December was our risk and assurance meeting. 7th of December, Carpio Community Board meeting. And just to let you know, I think Jamie mentioned it, the Carpio Motors store has got a new owner. The Dockeries have sold that after 39 years of service to the community. And I think probably that's worthy of some recognition to them and for the service they provided, particularly during the COVID times when they basically kept the community fed. So it was good to see that that there's some new owners in there, and they're a young couple, and I understand go-getters. So yeah, we'll watch that with interest. The only other thing I wanted to mention was that there was recently a warning issued by the New Zealand Food Safety about shellfish toxins in the Carpio Harbour and generally along the west coast there. It was a little bit misleading, and I've had some dialogue with Alan Nicholson, who runs the Carpio Oyster Farm, about that, and he was concerned about that warning because it doesn't affect the oyster farm. Apparently, there's a different testing regime for commercial as opposed to recreational gatherers. So, we've tried to pour a little bit of oil on troubled waters there, but I think it needs to be made clear that in future, maybe the New Zealand food safety people just need to be a little bit more specific when it comes to issuing warnings like that and what's included and what isn't, because it does cause a lot of Facebook traffic for a start. So, but other than that, can I just take this opportunity to say, hey, I wish you all well for the festive season. I hope you all had a safe and happy Christmas, and look forward to 2024, sort of. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Jeffries. Councillor Hughes.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. 23rd November, I was at the Vero presentation, similar to the one we had this morning. It was with the working group that organised by Sandra Cave and Ross McNeil. So that was, we got an outline of what was presented to us today. So that was good. 29th of November, the workshops and meeting with the police area commander, as Councillor Jeffries referred to, and basically 5th of November, our risk and assurance meeting. Other than that, yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you for your input. Councillor Dow.
Me, I actually know I've been to quite a lot of workshops here. Well, seems like a lot. Nothing else too exciting. Regional Transport Committee meeting was yesterday. We adopted a long-term, I think it's a long-term plan, or I don't know, some plan. But anyway, and that's can now go out for submissions. So it's another thing to do next year is listen to all the submissions. But it's all cool. The plan is basically on resilience, really, as that was what most councils were worried about. So yeah, so that's there for, I'll go online, I suppose, for everyone to read, submit to. Our council can submit to it as well. An interesting thing I did last week I did a video, which I've shared for some years, you can share it around, but for promoting our Truck and Ute Festival. So, but I think it was a week before, I went to Tikwiti High School, got invited down there. They had a speed, what they called it, career speed day, which was really cool. But it was with year 9s, and they had all the different organisations, and you just basically, kids come in, you told them what you did for, I think it was 7 minutes they were allowed with you, then they moved around. It's quite amazing though, year 9s, none of them seem to know what they want to do. But it was funny, like one girl wanted to be a vet, and the rest had, yeah. So yeah, which was kind of interesting because the lady who presented this morning said they talked to year 9s about, you know, community things, or Veros did, but they didn't seem to, didn't know what they wanted to do. So yeah, anyway, but it was really cool, and it was, the idea was to plant a seed so that I guess next year they can start thinking about what they want to do. And yeah, but yeah, it was very successful. So I'll have to try and get that in our town as well. So, that's it. Thank you. You can go.
Thank you, Councillor Christensen.
A no date order. But obviously all the workshops that we've all been attending and with Jamie and Kathy, the little catch-ups with Claire, which are awesome. We've had 2 now, and I think our last one yesterday, the day before, was probably the best one. Went down to the Maniapoto Māori Trust offices to witness the signing of the JMA, which was really, really cool. The complete police commissioner that came and talked, or area commander. And then a couple of ODDB meetings and the Christmas function, which was awesome. The Christmas parade as the baked beans, which I had really a lot of fun as. The Christmas market, like Roy said, also there was a little pop-up market in town at Studio 84, which was really, really cool. Like the first 2 hours was jam-packed in there with people coming in. The vibe, yeah, was awesome. The donuts sold out within like half an hour, and there's a pop-up donut shop in there on Friday, I think. So if anyone's feeling peckish. What else have I done? I got elected as the chair of the community board, which I'm pretty excited about. And I'll just touch on what Rodney just was talking about, the speed dating. I'm pretty sure in the new year the development board's going to pick that up, and because Nikki from 873 was a big instigator behind the one in Te Kuiti, and she will help us just pro bono doing it, so that's really cool. And I think that's all.
How are the vegetables going?
The vegetables are going fantastic. We did a new planting on Sunday, added some extras, and we've just got a new space, but I might not say it because I don't know if he's told his partners yet. But at the other end of town on Ōtorohanga Road.
Thank you. I was at the Waikato Mayoral Forum for his worship with Tanya and with the iwi leaders on the 27th. We had interviews, workshops that you've all been attending. 1st of December was a bit packed, and so thank you for I was supporting Max by doing the Christmas parade because he was at the ball. Kathy was supporting me because I couldn't get to the Waikeria long service, and that all clashed with none of us being able to get to the college senior college prize giving, but we did the Christmas parade. And then the Christmas market, the workshops, and the Te Nehi Nui JMA was privileged to be at. The 5th of December, I had support from Jamie, etc., because I needed to be at Waikato. Workshops on the 8th of December, and then yesterday we had the special general meeting for LGNZ, where all 5 parts of the motion were passed. The lowest pass rate was 73%. Most of the others were in the high 90s or one high 80. So that all went through successfully. So now we move to you, Tony, with the resolution register, please.
Through you, Madam Chair. So we've got the first item on there that council approve a review of the road naming policy to be commenced. So that has commenced. Last time there was discussion that stays on until it's finished, which is not what the resolution says, but are we wanting to keep that on there still?
I think we're looking at you, Councillor Jeffries, are we?
Yes. C32. It has commenced. Do you want it to stay on there until it's complete, even though we know it's underway?
Microphone, please, Councillor Jeffries.
No, look, if council's happy for it to come off, I'll support that. Doesn't worry me.
Cool.
Yep.
Andrew promises that it's still moving along, don't you, Andrew? Yes, good. Okay, so the next one is around the lease with Ōtorohanga Support House. I don't know if Graham's got an update on that.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. So as council know, we've got Chris Ryan working for us in the interim capacity at 2 days a week. So we've prioritised his workload and that's number one on the list. In the interim, we've done Jared's gone down and done a complete condition assessment down there with assessment of the state of the building, chattels, etc. I've also instructed Sue Garment's way that something is on the way. So I have another catch up with Chris on Thursday, but we're progressing well. There's also, I guess, the outcome of the EROS assessment as well, which we need to be cognizant of as well. Drop that lease.
So draft speed management, interim speed management plan. So you would have seen in the email, covering email with the council agenda, was supposed to come back today, stripped back to the speed limits around schools and marae. But the government has signalled an intention to review that area of the land transport plan. So we're just sitting there. We've got until March, so it seemed a bit kind of odd to bring it to you, only to have it all unwound in February next year. So we'll just see what happens there. Watch the space. The meeting schedule, so adopted, all the dates are going in your diary or are in your diaries for next year. And then the last one is around the waste management assessment. And so I guess that one stays on there with 3 recommendations.
So staff recommendation that the Ōtorohanga District Council confirm the removal of resolutions C32, C140 and C141 from the register. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Prendergast, seconder. Councillor Dow, all in favour? Any against? Carried. Thank you. We are now on to item 105, resolution to exclude the public from item public excluded 9. Before we do that, I'm just going. So just to let the people know who are joining us online, we will come back out of public excluded, but it will only be to formally close the meeting. So at this time, being the last public meeting for the Ōtorohanga District Council, I'll wish you all a safe and happy holiday season and move on to item 105, resolution to exclude the public for item PE9. I'll take that report as read. Councillor Jeffries, second to Councillor Dow, all in favour?